Never question it. Fox is the enemy. And tonight they'll run with, Rose McGowan says Democrats are in a cult. But I also said Republicans were too. If you lean deep into anything and refuse to hear anything else, and you're serving a master that there's no evidence is serving you, then maybe you're in a cult.
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and then we'll full of them. We're gonna start with high shots. Just watch this chorus steps.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Comics Presents, the weekly YouTube comic book show that is run by the owner of a comic book store in Berkeley, California. The address is scrolling on the bottom of the screen. We actually have a new address I have to put up there. But before I tell you about that, let's just do the regular spiel. My name is Ewell. That's how you spell it. I own Fantastic Comics, and I have since 2011. So for 10 years, on May 1st, that will be the 10th year of me owning a comic book store in Berkeley, California. Wow, where has the time gone? That's crazy. I've sold a lot of comics in that time. And then before that, I worked at comic stores, one in Berkeley prior to this. And wow, I've sold a lot of comics then too, but I've sold a lot of comics. I've purchased a lot of comics. I've resold comics. I've purchased from companies straight away, also people selling their things to the store. Underground, if you can call it that. Independent, definitely. Small press, small publishers, big publishers, Marvel, DC, all that stuff. Wow, that's crazy. Well, we'll talk about that, I guess, next week. I mean, the show is always how, the store is going, and it's all centered around the store. Even if it's me, like that one episode, it's all about the store. So that's why we're here. We're here to talk about some comic books. I'm here to kill some time before our guest gets in. Let's do this before we do anything else. This one.
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Early on, before the show started, Fantinium was here as always, saying he is now a patron on our Patreon. Congratulations. I do not have a sound effect for bells and whistles. I will get that for you next week when we celebrate the first time you pay, because it's the beginning of the month. Nonetheless, thank you to you and to another subscriber. We now have 20. That's awesome. I am humbled by anybody that's willing to give money to us, and we've done so very little for you. Although, if you do subscribe to our Patreon page, I have about an hour-long interview with the great. That's for you to figure out until the end of the episode. It's a little show I called "Whose Chopper Is This?" And if you want to know more, you should put $1 in. It's a recurring bill, so watch out. So let's see. Do I have all that? Yeah. There we go. Hit the bell for notifications and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. If you enjoy what you've heard so far, or if you think you're going to later on, hit the thumbs up. We already have like 5 or 6 people that have done so. So that's very wonderful. We're going to bring in our guest in just a moment. Let me just say hi to everybody that's here. Shelby Pill's in the other room. Fantinium dug the Rose McCowan video. ATN said that was Rose. Whoa. I think that's how you're supposed to say that. All right. I guess that's it. Hello, everybody. Thank you for showing up. For those of you that are going to be here afterwards, I am going to have a discussion with probably myself about a comic book called Rub the Blood. That's what's going to be coming up next. Or later on, I should say, towards the end of the show. So stick around for that. Also, we are going to talk about Gizmo and his health update. He's been, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted some, no, that's the wrong one. Need more Yule in your life. There you go. You can follow me on Instagram. I posted some pictures of poor Giz's feet, which I'll be showing. Yeah, I can show you right now. I wanted my guest to say something about it, but yeah, I'll just do this. Look at that. It's horrible. It's not my fault. He keeps eating his feet, and I can't do anything to stop him. I give him a bath. He immediately goes back to work. I put this ointment, this lotion on him, and he goes back to work. That's the other foot. So finally, this is what I've done to him. Poor guy. Poor guy. But that's what you get. He won't take any reprimanding. He won't take any incentives like, having to put that crap all over him. And then he becomes like the biggest pill there is. So I wish I would have done this a couple days ago when I realized I should have done it. But there you go. All right. Without, before we go to our interview, let me play this commercial for you. Hey, everybody. Yule here. Have you ever noticed that your comic isn't looking as mint as you thought it was? There's a crease in it, some sort of bend that you kind of wish you could get taken out. Take this Conan, for example. Look at this. Bent up. Looking at it in the light, you can see all its defects on the back where there's a white cover. Dirt has accumulated. I wish there was something I could do about that. You ask yourself. Why, there is. If you come into Fantastic Comics, we will press your comic. We will clean your comic. If there is any way that we can help preserve your comic, we'll do that for a nominal fee. Remember, over at Fantastic Comics, when we press your comic, it's not going to look any worse than it did coming in. All right, and now for my guest, or my interview. Former host of So You Think No, what was it called? Something. ATN, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
This whole everything. We'll have another one of those someday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not an interview.
This is an interview.
No.
I haven't talked to you
That's true.
in so long. I'm going to have to find out what is going on with you and maybe share with the audience some things about you that actually reflect and are important in my life also.
Huh.
Which is all about the store, because whatever happens to me happens to the store. So if you like the store, if you like this show,
Mm-hmm.
you are very much I suggest you to keep me alive. That's what I'm saying.
What do you think I've been trying to do for like the last 10 years?
Keep me alive? Oh man, that was I see. That's crazy.
I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. Like, I want you to live forever.
I will. My father said he's going to live forever, and I'm looking to beat him. So I'm going to be around for a while.
Your generation farther than I would believe someone in your dad's generation, just because medical, whatever, the decline. We'll see. Can you go backwards? I don't think so.
Oh, it's a shame, because I'm seeing comic books selling for like crazy amounts of money that were like trash 10 years ago.
If you just wait another 20 years, your garage will be worth a fortune.
Let me tell you, it won't be that way. The thing is like everything is all about key issues right now.
Uh-huh.
So, so many other things like music, it does go out of print, but their goal is to sell the out of that so they can make a lot of money off of it, right? But in comic books, there's no real incentive after the fact to keep that going, because like they can repackage it, but royalties, nothing's like the music industry, I'm sure.
I think the music industry is having a tough time too, but
sure,
they can sell records.
Sure.
I mean, can you? I can't even imagine paying for music anymore. Like, it's just kind of no. Why would you do that?
You just do it on the Spotify service or whatever else you got.
Listen to it on YouTube or whatever.
That's another thing. Yeah,
it doesn't. You do not have to pay for music anymore. And when we were kids, man, like you had to pay for every cheap cassette that was gonna warp in the sun, and
Oh yeah, don't leave that record in the sun while you're going to shop for something else.
I left a VHS tape on the dashboard of a car in Texas in the summer, and obviously it didn't make it. They're out of business now, but Hastings, they wanted to charge me $67 to replace it.
Wow.
No. Sorry, abandon the account. Goodbye. Blood from the stone, as Tyler would say.
So I haven't talked to you in like 4 weeks, basically, something like that.
3,
close to a month,
maybe closer to 4. Yeah.
And then because we weren't doing our podcast together, which we'll be talking about in a second,
right? It's been longer.
Longer.
Whatever.
For the most part,
it's been less consistent for the time before I went to Texas. Yes.
Right. So that's what you did recently. You went to Texas.
Yeah, and I did it kind of the right way. Like I went and quarantined, and like I worked outside and ate in a lot of restaurants, and so it's like 50-50, right? But yeah, I went to Texas to help my brother.
What were restaurants like there?
Yeah, as just like they were before, kind of.
So like every seat filled?
No, but that's not because people were afraid to eat out. It was just because the restaurants aren't completely full. I didn't go to like Austin or, any of the major cities to like eat. I ate in the small town where I grew up and in Kerrville, just a little ways down the street. And you go into Taco to Go at 1, everybody's driving through. They don't want to stop in and eat. And I'm like, it's empty. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's really good tacos. If you're ever in Kerrville, I'm not even kidding. Get the picadillo. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, every time I go home, I'm just like, how many times can I eat at Taco to Go and Los Cerritos? How many? Well, the answer in this particular case is about 8. Maybe 9.
What was the other one?
Los Cerritos. It means little jars.
Now, what's up with little jars? That
They make good enchiladas, man.
Oh, I see. So one place makes good tacos. The other one is for the enchilada.
Yeah, one's for lunch, one's for dinner.
One's for lunch and one's for dinner, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the beans? What's the bean situation like?
At Los Cerritos, they're a little smoky and they're flavorful, so they're pretty good. And the rice is okay. It's not the best. Their salsa is pretty top notch though. But Taco to Go definitely has a better salsa.
It's rough when you got to mix and match.
You just get a little to go thing and you take it with you to the other restaurant where they have good whatever, but no good salsa. You just do that. It's fine.
You're not allowed to bring some other store's salsa into our place.
I beg to differ. I definitely beg to differ. I'm gonna if I need to.
Yeah.
Salsa is important. Okay.
So what else were you doing in Texas?
I was looking for books, but mostly I was helping my brother, somebody that had rented the house that we grew up in. They treated it kind of like a dump. And so there was garbage everywhere, including a lot of scrap metal and stuff. So it was a lot of actual me working, which I'm not accustomed to. Notice these hands are like beat up now, whereas before they were quite soft. A lot of keyboarding, a lot of mouse movements, a lot of turning on the monitor.
Hey, you can get a callus on the tip of your finger if you keep hitting that W too many times.
Yeah. I honestly think I have arthritis in my index finger from using a mouse, whereas the rest of my body works fine. I just get sore for a couple of days.
Oh man, my finger's starting to hurt.
Just that one finger,
Just that
eventually
one.
I'm gonna have to just move over and start using my middle finger as my left mouse. And this finger's really inadept though. I don't know if you've ever tried to do much with the ring finger on the right hand, but it's not a smart finger. It's kind of a dummy. It just wants to do what this one does.
Pretty much. But no, I can, I'm not like special when it comes to doing crazy, Spock things. My father, though, he does all the tricks, he's all, can you do this? And then, blah, 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 blah.
That was the last show I watched, by the way, was the one
really?
you did with you. Yeah, it was good. That was a good.
What
show.
was it? How was that? Did it feel like a guy from Texas talking to me?
No,
I didn't really do Texas stuff too much.
He just felt like your dad. It's like somebody who's so intimately knows you that it's obvious that dude's your dad.
Yeah.
Like no one else is going to be able to talk to you like that. And it's not out of fear. It's just, they don't know you well enough to do it. It was cool. I had a good time. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I like that one too. It was cool. I should, I feel like this is a good way to get my family. This will be my family story. It'll just be on like YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
It'll be easier to do it this way. I don't have to write anything down, and
it's documented.
The internet's forever. So,
well, I mean, nothing's forever, my friend. It's on a server somewhere.
That's right. I'll have to. And I've never lost anything on a disc or anything.
This is not going in a good direction. We need to get off of this topic because loss comes with these topics.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, let's talk about games, okay?
Games.
What did you pick up when you were in Texas? How about let me share screen?
That's not a game.
Oh, I said gain.
Oh, gain. Oh, like the detergent. Yes, got it.
Yes. Oh, look at this paperback gold mine.
Yeah, buddy.
This is your store, right?
Uh-huh.
And you post everything on Instagram?
Yeah, eventually I'll get around.
And your website also. The one you buy it from.
There's no photos on the website yet, and I'm working on it, but I'm working on it slowly because I'm lazy and I'm busy.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Cataloging all these books you're showing us.
Yeah, you see that Gulag Archipelago?
Where was that one?
It's center's silver bottom.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Right there.
Beautiful.
What's the deal with that?
It's a first paperback. It's just in really good shape. It's really nice. And then if you go that Patrick White, you see that Living in the Dead? I used to own a first edition of that. And I sold it. That was smart. That was definitely smart. And that's all new stuff. Everything else is old. Anything down below that's old.
Below the Abby Hoffman.
Yeah, that was in the Comfort Public Library, man. Like I went in there. This is my hometown. And I'm totally expecting the Comfort Public Library to be appropriate for the town I grew up in, which is kind of you'd purse your lips and no. But they had amazing stuff. They had that Patrick White, they had Graham Greene, they had all sorts of good stuff. Abby Hoffman.
What's the Abby Hoffman steal this book? What's the deal with that?
I don't know, dude. Like it's definitely counterculture before my time. I do not care at all, but somebody wants it, I'm sure.
I've never really read Joyce Carol Oates, but I've kind of wanted to.
Now you can. I think that her stuff is so incredibly common that you're going to have to find somebody to tell you where to get in and what to bother with and what not to bother with. Because I think she's written too many books for them all to be good.
I think most of it's short stories anyway, right?
She wrote a lot of novels.
No, really?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about sci-fi fantasy read along.
Well, Yule, we have released our first episode of A Wizard of Earthsea. That would be Gab and Blab, and that would be Jill and myself talking about young adult. And I like that book immensely. But anyway, we've released one episode. I was working on editing the second one before we got on tonight.
Yeah.
And it's coming along. We've got to record 5 more episodes, and then you and I and Philip are going to start reading something.
No. We'll have to figure it out. That's
I think we've already figured it out, unless you've made any changes.
Oh, no.
If you've altered your list in any capacity, you should tell me now.
I'm scared. I don't think I have, though. What did I say? Like Good Omens?
And
I said...
The Second Black Company.
The Second Black Company.
And then you said Slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah. Slaughterhouse
5.
25. That's right.
Slaughterhouse 5.
The 25th Slaughterhouse.
Yep. That's the one.
Yeah, because the only time I read that, I was coming down off an acid trip.
Oh, good. That'll be interesting.
I was really strung out.
You'll have stories.
And I just remember that was like one of the first times I actually looked at my hand.
Oh dear. Yeah, I know that.
It's not what you want to do in that situation. You can kind of see it withering away.
Mirrors are worse, but yes.
Mirrors definitely. And I feel that Slaughterhouse 5 in a way, because there's a lot of time shifting and stuff going on, that it kind of was proper, at least at that moment. But my retention isn't as great, especially all the years that have gone between.
Well, that's okay. We'll reread it. Oh, you'll reread it. I've never read it, and I've read a fair number of books by him, and I have liked all of them except for Player Piano, which was his first, which I like philosophically, but it was not fun to read. It was interesting, but not fun.
I've only read a few, and we're talking about Kurt Vonnegut.
Sirens of Titan. Excellent science fiction, actual science fiction. Good stuff.
Well, my big one was Galapagos was the first one I read.
I haven't read that.
That one was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I don't know how I ran into that one instead of Slaughterhouse 5, but maybe it wasn't at the Barnes and Noble at the time.
It seems hard to believe, but at the same time, knowing you, I would guess that it was the one that nobody you knew had read.
It would help. Yeah. I don't know if I was doing...
This is fairly obscure, but very famous. I will choose this one.
I don't think I was being contrary in that situation, but I was thinking I might have been being contrary.
It might have also been current. That's a possibility. He died in our lifetime. He fell off a ladder.
Yes, he did.
I mean, just like, damn it, Kurt. He had at least another book or two in him. Not that I would have.
Mobius died, I think, like hitting a coffee table or something like that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
Or falling downstairs or something like that.
Damn shame.
I forget which one it was. Yeah, Galapagos is a weird one, but definitely science fiction for sure.
That's fantastic. I mean, like, there's nothing I like more than well-written science fiction. Nothing. Like, it's top tier, baby.
He's a fun, quirky writer, I think.
Yeah, he was a national treasure. He was our Mark Twain. I mean, he even looked like Mark Twain.
He did. In fact, in Berkeley, everybody, there's a local character.
Yeah. Flavor text for the town, if you will.
Flavor text for the town, exactly. Who looks like a combination of... Well, we used to at the comic store because, we're comic book people and just knowing Mark Twain is probably all we really need to do. So we called him Crazy Mark Twain.
Okay.
But half price. And I don't know who started it there, but I think I heard Tyler did it.
I think so.
So Tyler said it was a mix between Kurt Vonnegut and Mark Twain. And he was dubbed. What was it he dubbed? Twonnegut.
I believe it was Tyler. I'm not 100% sure, but that's such a Tyler thing to do and say. Like, Tyler does that all the time. He comes up with crazy names for people.
Sure thing.
And then next thing you know, you're like, yep, that's that guy.
Although it may have been Jeff. I don't know how long it lasted.
Ask Jeff. But he'll know if he did it, right? Unless there's some crazy cognitive dissonance going on. But ask him.
Well, you want to be the center of attention sometimes.
Okay. Something to be feared.
Yeah. So how are things?
I got a jab yesterday, so my arm is sore and I feel funky, but I'm also number one. I didn't do it in Texas. I just did it here. But I don't know if you know this, but we got legal weed.
All right. Excellent.
Starting April next year, you can buy it in a dispensary, just like Colorado or wherever.
Well, here, let me play this for you.
Marge, it's making my eyes better, and it's legal. I could walk up to the president and blow smoke in his stupid monkey face, and he'd just have to sit there grooving on it.
Grooving on it.
There was a thing on the news from South New Mexico. I think it was Las Cruces News, and they were whatever. It was a piece on the legalization and what problems are going to arise because of this. Not a serious piece, but they interviewed a sheriff over in El Paso, and he's like, it's a felony. Like, you can't have any edibles. You can't, the vape pens, they're a felony. Like, it's a felony.
Felony.
Don't do it. Don't get caught. I think that's what they're telling you. It's a plant. There's like 18 states now where it's legal. You can go all the way from Washington State down, and you can either go to Nevada or not and gamble. Doesn't matter. And then you can go up to Colorado if you want. Doesn't matter. And head down to Arizona and New Mexico. And then you get to Texas, and you kind of got to go up and around to get to Oklahoma. And then I don't know what's east, further than that. But, buddy, I imagine it's going to be federally legal within a couple of years.
It's not that big a thing. And people that are worried about it just don't know about weed and can't discern the difference between that and other drugs, really.
Affect them at all. Like, they're never going to, like, I told my aunt.
I can't stand smelling it.
We drove all around Dallas looking for books, right? And I told her, and during one of our conversations, I was like, yeah, I'm high all the time. And she's like, oh, really?
No wonder you're so easy to be around now.
Yes. Not when I'm driving in Dallas, because that is honestly a little bit much for me at this age. But yeah, like I'm high all the time. Come on. I don't think it's good for my eyes, honestly. I don't, because they get all dry and blurry. But besides that, What's up? What's up, Sequential Geek? Yeah, man, it's a good time. It's a good time. I'm real happy about that. Oh, let me tell you an interesting story. I don't know how interested you are in the natural world, but like I'm into it, right? I think it's pretty neat. We were cleaning off this piece of property, which is like some acreage, right? And there's a barn on the property. And I knew it was going to be full of garbage. I was like, I don't want to open that door. I don't really want to know what's in there until we've made some real progress. So at the end of the first day, I was looking around. I was like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. We're making something. I've got a week and a half still here, and we did a lot today. And then I opened up the garage or the barn, excuse me, and it was full of garbage. But when I did that, a vulture flew out of the barn and out the window on the other side. And I didn't get to know that bird like in a bow bow kind of way, but that bird would let me. She was sitting on 2 eggs, just on the ground in the barn, like on the hardwood floor with no nest whatsoever. And she would let me like walk around in the barn so long as I didn't move fast, and I would just call her Pretty Bird a lot so that she knew where I was. But like she let me occupy that barn with her, and she didn't freak out. It was amazing. It's like a vulture, dude. It's a big bird. I've never been that close to a vulture ever. Like they don't let people get close. So she was motivated, because she had eggs and stuff. But that was amazing. Like that was the highlight of that trip, in my opinion. Just being that close to a bird that big. You see them all the time, and like I had no idea they don't build nests. They don't build nests. They roost on cliff sides, and according to my buddy's dad, they'll even roost in like holes in the ground. I don't know how that works. Seems like a bad idea, but who am I to say? Vultures aren't extinct, right? It was neat. Right. It was really, really cool. It was really badass.
I saw probably like 3 of them at the park one day when I was walking the dog.
Yeah.
And I had to get close. What?
Yeah. Something died to bring them down.
I was like, what? That's a big bird, big. From far away. And, I'm like, hey, let's walk a little closer. And I let the dog, have a little bit of a long leash ahead of me.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Letting him walk point.
We're still very far away. But one kind of got up and started hovering a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I think that's a vulture.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Come on, dog. Let's go. Tighten this up.
Sure.
Let's look bigger than this thing. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to set the example, Nevada. Way to set it.
Nevada?
Yeah.
Were they
Can you still smoke indoors?
I don't know, man. I feel like you probably can.
You know what tripped me out? Because I had been to Vegas when I only think I was like, under 21, under 18.
Stuck in the arcade? Stuck at the...
exactly where I wanted to be. It was back when...
shit.
It was back when like Super Mario Brothers and Joust and those kind of games were out.
Yeah. Arcade heaven is what you mean.
Exactly. There was the Vector Star Wars one where you're like in the ship and you're shooting the Death Star and the TIE fighters and all that shit.
Yeah.
Woo! I love that one. That one was hot. Like that was like one of the only places you could go to play that game at the time.
Wow.
And I mean, we were so lucky that we're going to Vegas. And so anyway, I'm an adult, and
now
I think it was like for Diamond Conference or Comics Pro or something like that. I think it was the Diamond one.
Yeah.
And I'm there with Todd and Emil, and I have a beer, and you're allowed to go outside.
Oh, sure.
And drink it as you're walking to the next hotel, and casino.
It's a loose town.
I like that. That's good. That's the way it should be. I mean, not a paper bag or a bum, just like, but I mean, fortunately, it's like Omar. I don't know if you remember Omar. He's the guy that he'd be drunk. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Hey.
No, I don't know.
All the way down the street, he's yelling at somebody 5 feet away from him.
and like at South by Southwest, you walk around, and I feel like that's kind of when that's appropriate. When you're in Vegas, that's kind of appropriate. I don't know if I want people walking around drunk normally. I don't like alcohol. It's not my something. Just get high. Just shut up and get high. You'd be cooler.
A nice beer. There's nothing wrong with that. I like a whiskey. It's a little bit of a different thing, and it hits you a little bit faster. I have to.
Irresponsibly drunk is annoying. I'll just
taking
say that.
smoke in sometimes isn't what I want to really do all the time. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go through some comics with you, and I want to see if I can interest you in any of these.
Oh, did you like that photo I sent you in San Antonio, by the way?
What was it again?
$150 for the alternate cover of Gideon Falls.
That's right. That was a little too steep, I think.
It was like a 9.6.
It was a high grade, but I just feel like almost everything from today should be that high a grade. And
yes, that's true.
What was it? You said it was at a half priced?
No. That was at an actual comic book store.
Oh, I see.
I let Phil drag me to some actual comic book stores, and I would go in and I'd be like, "Do you have magazine-sized comics?" And if they look up and they're confused, I just leave. That's it. I just leave.
Do you have anything that doesn't look like a Marvel comic book?
Yeah. Show me some comics, man. I'm interested.
All right. So we did not get our DC comic books this week.
I'm going to go free. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. So we didn't get our DC comics. What we got, we did today, but it's delivered here, so it's not at the store. So I will have them out tomorrow along with all the Marvel and DC and other company comic books. I'm going to turn mine off also because it's just going to pop up in the middle and I'll look stupid. All right, so the first one is an Action Comics number 1030. Let me get rid of this banner. All right. This is written by, Philip Kennedy Johnson. And I don't know who the guy's name is. Daniel Sampier, I think his name is. And this is like Superman in Action Comics, and it's been okay. But there was recently a reveal that Superman was going to be relaunched with a new writer and art team. And the person who's doing it, Philip Kennedy Johnson, I don't think is even going to be on Action Comics when that happens. And this is so soon after the relaunch after the last two, the Future State comics. I know this probably doesn't mean anything to you.
Nope.
But it's what I'm trying to suggest is there seems to be a weird sort of upheaval. And although they're putting out merchandise, it doesn't seem that DC totally knows where they're going with everything. Although they did Future State, which was stories that go after what we're reading now. And it's like it was like a little taste of what's to come. So some things were good and some things were not.
Oh, feeling it out then.
Yeah, so one of the new things is that John Kent, the son of Superman, becomes Superman, and Clark Kent, Kal-El, goes to another place. And then there you go.
Oh, is this like when bees reproduce? You got to send the new queen to another planet or something?
That's what happened. So there was a real popular comic book called Super Sons. I'm sure we talked about it on one of our shows.
Yeah, totally.
And it had great art, great writing. People really enjoyed it. Young readers, old readers, that type of thing. And it got canceled so that John Kent could be raised in age, and that pissed a lot of people that enjoyed it off.
Yeah, that'd make me mad too.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? And look at that Michael Janin cover, or Yannin, however you say it. Super Sons is I don't know about the old issues, but there's a new one called Challenge of the Super Sons, and it seems like it's still just as good. Okay, what's next? We've
I don't know,
got
but I don't know if I've ever told you. I really like this where you've got the big picture in the center of the screen. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Taking advantage of the capabilities of StreamYard.
Yeah.
It's also I don't have to like work too hard. This is the
Well-
cover I'm going for. Batman Black and White is just an anthology about Batman in black and white story form. Next up, we have Batman and Superman number 17. This is written by the Bay Area's Gene Yang with Ivan Rios doing the artwork. This next one is the second issue of let's see if I have to take this down first. All right, now I'm not going to do it. So Berserker number 2 comes out.
I think they misspelled something there.
Yeah, I know. They took the vowels out. So
Keanu Reeves, really?
Keanu Reeves, yeah.
Huh.
So Berserker was a very popular first issue. It had a crowdfunding funding for people to buy into this whole thing. They're going to get the completed thing when it's finally done. Comic stores get the Berserker issues as they come out. And Matt Kent is doing the writing with Keanu Reeves. And Ron Garney is a real good artist.
It looks good. Is Boom Studio are they like super ultra violent or something?
Not
like,
all
is this
the
an
time.
appropriate comic for them?
This is they run the gamut. I mean, they have an all ages section called Boombox and like a young adult called Kaboom, and they have some violent comics and adult stuff. But this is probably one of that first issue is one of the most vicious issues or comic books I've seen in a while.
What was that Jeff Darrow book that was like ultra violent? Because that's what this
Shaolin Cowboy.
No, before that.
You're talking about
3 issues. They're big.
The police
they're white.
one.
Yeah.
Hard boiled.
Yeah, that's kind of the feel I get from this. Like, I'm expecting there to be a million bullets flying in no time.
Yeah, and it's more than just bullets because this guy is like regenerative and really super strong, so he has no problem like punching his fist through your face and holding a grenade and letting it explode with him holding you.
God, jeez, man. What's with the musket loader?
Yeah. Well, it's so. I recently stated that I'm not going to really try and have too many comic books with guns in them.
The musket loader's okay.
It's really difficult. I mean, this dude's got like every goddamn weapon you can possibly have on him, right now.
Yeah,
but that's kind of the thing. See, at the end of the first issue, you find out something about him, and this kind of really plays in with what the character is all about.
He has sex with weapons.
He does actually.
He reproduces that way. Yeah.
He's big on that. So these are creators that I trust in Keanu Reeves. Matt Kent tells a really good story. Ron Garney is a great artist, and actually, I'm actually a pretty big Keanu Reeves fan anyway.
Yeah, he's
cool. I'm gonna trust people that I know or whose work I've seen, or at least people who have told me this. People I respect, basically. I'm not going to just go and, this is a new person. If you're a new person and you're doing something, that's like over the top and uber violent and super gun heavy, I'm just so fed up. So case in point, there was this comic book called The Hold Up. And I don't know anybody here. I don't know who Shuki is or Raul Paoli or anything like that. But it's the last thing I want to see in my store.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're not Ron Garney, and if I don't like Ron Garney, sometimes like my audience is going to tell me that I need to have something in my store, and I cannot ignore them. And I'm always willing to order things for people, but I'm not necessarily looking for like super wholesome things because I love down and dirty stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, more often than not, I like, stuff that most people probably wouldn't dig.
Do people think you're strange?
I don't know. In a comic book store, can you really be?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know what the standard is.
This is the last issue of a miniseries, so I would definitely wait for the trade now if you haven't been buying this. It's only going to be costing $10, and the artwork is so amazing, and the writing from the artist who's doing this book is very good and spot on teenagers, and it just feels real, and it's got a real great look to it. And the whole premise of this is that this character, Erratic, this kid from high school, is can only use his power for 15 minutes a day.
Oh.
And he's like super powerful during that time.
Sure.
And all the extra characters are super well fleshed out. They have personalities, and they have motivations. And he did this. He established all these people in this way from the very first issue, and each issue builds on it and adds like levels to those characters, and it always culminates at the very end of the issue with him having to use his powers for like the last 10 or 15 minutes of the day,
as is appropriate. So you've been reading this book?
I have. It's really good. I like it a lot, and
it sounds like you like it.
It's good for you have to like superheroes. You have to love a male lead, but there's so many great characters in it. I think it's really cool, and I totally dig it.
Nice.
And later in the year, there's going to be a mini series from Marvel called Amazing Fantasy, and Kari Andrews is doing all the work on that, and he's taking Marvel characters and he's putting them in like different style fantasy settings.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
All right, from Image tomorrow. I don't know who the creators are. Sorry. Helm Greycastle. This is a Latinx fantasy book.
Wait, what does that mean?
Latinx. Latinx.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What does that mean exactly?
It's grouping Hispanic and Spanish people together, calling them Latinx. I don't know, but it's fantasy based. So
yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. So I like fantasy stuff, and I know I have some readers in the store that do. So this will be an interesting read.
That lady's green.
Yeah, right? I don't know where. What is that? Puerto Rican then?
Is that the Hulk?
I have no idea. How can this be? I'm very interested to see where they go with this. Is this going to be like, oh, just the creators are Latinx, or is it? I don't know. Anyway, that I don't usually say, oh my gosh, I have to have this book because it's got something like this in it, but it's fantasy, and that's something I'm always interested in. And
I know, I am too.
So I don't know. This will probably be one I'll definitely. I shouldn't even say it. I'm definitely going to be talking about this.
Okay, that's fair. I'll learn then.
Yeah. From Kurt Busiek and others, there's going to be a series called The Marvels. And I think what it is it's the characters of the Marvel Universe and how they play out in the real world. Or I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
But Kurt Busiek did Marvel, which was that photographer that was there at the age of Marvels, like when the Fantastic Four showed up for the first time, or Galactus, or Spider-Man.
What luck. I mean, that's an incredibly lucky stroke right there to just be there when they show up.
Always. Well, it's always in New York, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Not only does he take the name Spider-Man, he takes one of the classic storylines from the character and is using it for his own. That's how some people describe it. Marvel loves to rehash old storylines or old concepts. DC loves to do it also. In fact, every company that has something that really stuck uses and reuses and squeezes that lemon for every drop of juice it can possibly get until
down
it's
your
cold
leg.
husk.
Got it.
Exactly.
Of course they do. I mean, they'd be foolish not to.
Exactly. So we have a new Spider-Man and Miles Morales, along with all the other Spider people.
Wait, That's a new Miles Morales Spider-Man, and it's not a number 1.
Well, I mean, it's a new issue.
Oh,
And it's in the
I
clone
thought
saga.
they were all number 1.
Look, you can restart at number 1, but never until issue 26 if you're on 24. You know what I mean? Don't
No.
stop it at 24.
You got to make it to 25. I got it.
So
That's racy.
yeah, this is where you get some adult noir style fiction.
It does remind me of 70s action novels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Elmore Leonard. I mean, Ed Brubaker's been trying to do Elmore Leonard to equal, I should say.
Okay.
For a long time now. And Sean Phillips, his willing accomplice. They are not doing floppy comic book pamphlet issues of Criminal anymore. What they're doing is a thing called a Reckless book, and for the last 2 times they've been doing these graphic novels. So this will come out in hardcover. I definitely have an audience for this. If you are interested in, standalone, longer fiction narratives, this is cool. If you dig, shoot 'em ups. Yeah, Ed Brubaker is very good, and Sean Phillips is too. Robin comes out with Joshua Williamson, a favorite writer of mine working over at DC. And I can't remember Gleb Melnikov. And Gleb Melnikov got famous on Twitter for a minute. Pros were hating him because he said that he was sick of superhero books having like 3 pages of dinner conversation.
Oh yeah, that's definitely boring.
That is definitely well. I mean, back when I was younger, that's why you read Concrete. You don't read that.
Rob Liefeld go off about this sometime, and you showed it to me, and like he's right, and I don't want to agree with him necessarily, but he's definitely right.
Mm-hmm.
It's an action story. There's supposed to be some action.
Yes. I'm just putting up some comments right now. Latin X-Men. Spider appropriation. Yeah, that's totally it. Let's see here. I don't know which one that was.
This kid was in a comic book with Young Superman, and it was doing well, and they canceled it because
this is how I say it. Brian Michael Bendis was writing Superman, and he wanted to age up Jonathan Kent so he could start up the Legion of Superheroes. The Legion of Superheroes would be formed by Superboy in the future, or something that he did. I can't remember what it was. It was hack and better left unsaid. Or that's
perhaps even unwritten.
Or even unwritten. And then lastly, X-Men Legends, number 3. X-Men Legends takes previous storylines and adds to them with creators from that time period. This one is going to be an X Factor story written and drawn by Louise and Walt Simonson. They are a husband and wife team, and Walt Simonson's classic. Louise Simonson is classic. And their X-Force or X Factor for a lot of people was some of their favorite stuff. You can tell when the time period is, because not only has Angel become an agent of Apocalypse at some time, but Iceman is also wearing that belt because his powers were he couldn't keep them in check. So I'm going to guess this is like somewhere around issues 40 to 54 or something like that. That's my guess. I could be wrong.
What's his name?
Who?
The husband of the husband and wife team.
Oh, Simonson. It's Walt and Louise Simonson.
Yeah, I'm just.
But they
curious.
didn't work all that time ago because maybe it's like 24. Maybe it's just after 24. But yeah, kind of like classic X-Men, except.
Oh, he's not as old as I expected him to be.
Was he like 67?
Well, he's a little older. He's 74.
74. Yeah, he's pretty old.
Not really.
Well, not for like living, but for like doing art and stuff like that. So, any of these interest you? Any of these comic books?
I mean, I'd flip through them all. Do you understand? I would flip through
Yeah.
them all, but it would take pretty stellar art and something that I haven't seen before to really turn my fancy. And I don't mean like a small change. I mean like something profound that I've never actually encountered before. I like novelty, and I've read a lot of stories, so it's pretty difficult for me to come across novelty these days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Here, how about this? Can I interest you at all? No, wait, hold on. We don't want to do that. All right, here we go. How about?
Okay. What are we looking at?
Oh, wait, we want to do that. Hold on.
Nuke top. What's a nuke top? Or did I misread that?
You did.
I did. Okay.
All right, here we go. No, I typed it wrong. Comic book Nook.
Oh,
this is
got
the
it.
Top 5 covers.
Got it.
What do
Go.
you think
I like
about
covers.
that?
Let's
Okay,
go.
cool.
Let's go.
Okay, I have some runner-ups. So I ordered from Floating World Comics. I think they're in Portland or Oregon, I should say.
Somewhere.
Night Hunters. And this is 3 issues that have come out so far of this independent book. And I didn't know anything about it other than I thought it looked really cool.
It reminds me of the Michelle Fife.
Well, funny you should talk about that. Another runner-up, Mad Magazine. Not that the cover is really all that great. Just everybody that came in the store said, wow, they still make Mad Magazine? I thought they were ending that.
I thought so too.
So Mad Magazine. All right, this is number 1. Or number 5 if you want to go counting down.
It is a number 1 though. I can't help but notice.
Well, Marvel has this book called Marvel Visions. And in it, they are doing something that's themed. So they've had like a Black History Month. They've had like a First Nations people creating comic books with their character month. They had Women of Marvel. And in this book, it's all like lady creators and editors and stuff like that.
Got it.
But this cover is done by a person named Maria Wolf. And I don't know their work other than this, but god damn, it's awesome, I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like that. I love all that imagery in the background, and it's just like super great. All right. Stray Dogs, number 3. They do a horror movie cover, and that's the ones I've been getting personally for myself. This story is, and I'm almost done with pitches that say it's like Disney meets blah blah blah. But think of a fun animal comic book all about dogs that are being owned by this one person, and a new dog comes to live with them, and she's having nightmares of her former owner being murdered. And they realize, there's a lot of fight between all of them and, their dogs. They can't remember 5 minutes ago, a lot of them. They realize that they are all dogs from owners that their new owner has killed.
Right.
And holy cow, 18, this is such the third. Oh my God. The end of this issue is freaking amazing.
Is it?
Oh my God. If they ever dared, I hate to say this because Tony Fleeks totally does like My Little Pony and all sorts of, comic books, the person who's doing this book is known for doing like all ages kind of material. And, it's not like there's a lot of cussing, but there's even cussing. But this is so gripping and so strong. I really like this series a lot. 2 more issues.
So 5 total.
5 total, yeah.
Got it.
All right. The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. This is a David Mack foil cover. It costs a whole $1 extra than the normal cover from interior artist Philippe Andrade. Both very good. But this is foil. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I tried my best to take a picture so you could see it without, super glare.
Hard to do.
Hard to do. But so there's the internet version.
Right.
And then there's the real version.
Another Boom comic.
Another Boom comic. This is all about Death losing her job because there has been a birth from someone who's going to create immortality.
Uh-oh.
So she finagles her way, because she has a bunch of arms here. She finagles her way to get back down to Earth in the body of someone who's dying. And she's going to go and murder this baby.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's going to go suss it out and see what's up. But no, she's got murder on the mind.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that. But, hey.
Is this Kali? Is that who that's supposed to be?
Sure. It's definitely... Yeah, I mean, they just say Death, but
yeah,
it's pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. Ram V is an up-and-comer. I have not really enjoyed everything that he's written.
Yeah.
But this was a good first issue. And we have plenty, so come get it.
Are they foil?
Some are foil, some are regular cover.
Okay.
Geiger, #1. This is a first issue that came out a couple weeks after the first issue came out, or after it came out. This is a special cover, and on Instagram, if you go to Fantastic Comics, I already posted this, and it's glow in the dark. Look at that.
I was wondering about that because
why does it look funky?
It does look a little funky.
It looks okay in real life.
Is odd.
Yeah,
okay.
But so there you go. And I forgot what number one. We're on number 4, I think.
That's pretty cool.
2. Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then this is the last one. This is Superman Red and Blue, number 2.
That's amazing.
That's
what I'm talking about. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen Ralph Steadman and stuff like that. There's some obvious comparisons that can be drawn there. But, as a superhero, come on, that's amazing.
That is David Cho. Do you remember David Cho?
Didn't he draw the sexy ladies?
No, that's Frank Cho.
Oh, okay. No, then I don't know. I'm sorry.
David Cho was I can't remember if it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is. He painted their walls and was paid in stock.
He's an actual painter.
Yeah. He's a real.
Yeah.
He's done some comic stuff. In fact,
then yes, I know
he had a pitch to Marvel to do X-Force when X-Force was drowning and sucked. And he had some pitch, and I can't remember exactly how it goes. Maybe that's something we should do for a later time. But basically it didn't happen. And it really soured him on the whole creative process when it comes to doing comics and stuff. Anyway, he's super rich. He's had this really successful podcast back when, it wasn't everybody and their mom doing podcasts. I
know, right?
Yeah.
I feel
these people
swamped.
suck.
That's okay, man. Got to start somewhere.
That was the top 5 covers, everybody.
I really think that you ended on a high point. I really do. Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I did know about him, about the Facebook painting on the wall thing, and I knew about the stock, and I knew he was rich because of it.
Yeah, he's rich. So I'm not sure if you're. Oh, damn, that's not good. I'm not sure if you're at all. Yeah, I don't usually have my phone stuff on, so it's cool.
200 million?
Wait, 200 million? Is that what it was, really?
That's what Fantinium says. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is today, but at the same time, anything more than 1 is a lot, Shit,
yeah.
1 million's a lot. I mean, it's life-changing money.
He's the richest graffiti artist in the world.
Even
he
richer.
chose Facebook stock as his pay. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, how much would Banksy be worth then? I mean,
if Banksy sold paintings, they would be easy. I mean, easy millions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's worth, but I'm guessing that he's not compared to anybody else because nobody knows who he is.
Right. And I hate to be so obvious that I don't know anybody other than David Cho and
graffiti artists.
Banksy.
I mean, I took a lot of photographs, but I don't know anything either. But I mean, I love stencil. I like the stencils a lot of graffiti, and I'll take pictures of them anywhere I see them.
I mean, I've been blessed to live in areas where there's plenty of graffiti, and some of it's actually good.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know, I mean, there's places where it's a scene, and then there's places where people are practicing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can practice on cardboard, dude.
You can practice on train cars. That's what they're for.
Oh man, and of course, you know, anywhere there's a trains, you know, anywhere there's a place where there's going to be anything other than an Amtrak going by, you're going to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
I think that's a great place to figure out if it's something that you want to do, and you get the thrill of like running from the cops. So like when I was down in Argentina, I went on this tour that was given by some people who are not from Argentina. And it was a graffiti tour, right? But during the tour, they said that Banksy's never been to Argentina, and it's likely because it's not illegal there.
Gotcha.
So ever since they had their independence, essentially their freedom, they had a dictator who's really, really nasty. And ever since that time has ended and they have democracy, that they've been very vociferously protective of free speech, including graffiti. So there's no risk of people getting caught there. So like you can have that going after the trains, you know, you can be scared a little bit and run away, maybe even get caught and earn some cred, but you know, figure out if you're any good at it on a train car.
Right.
Not on Yule's wall or window.
Not on my wall. No, well, you know, I mean, I would like a theme, you know, if we could like work on something, I wouldn't like be upset about it, but I think really the neighbors probably wouldn't dig it. And we are really in a residential area, so
yeah,
it might not be the best thing, but you know, hey, I'm down with art, you know.
I do like it, but you know, it's not all good. And even like all the stencil graffiti in the world, you know, some of it's garbage. So
something happened to me this week.
What?
Put this well, I was on Thinking Critical on Saturday, and then on Sunday, which was a day off for me because it isn't always, I was watching Noah Van Sciver's YouTube channel, and he had no plan. That's the guy who did Blammo and the Melancholy Abraham Lincoln book. I can't remember how it was called, but stuff like that. And he's like, dude, I have nothing going on. I'm going to just open up my link. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to jump in. And so I jumped in. There's me. There's Noah Van Sciver. And I basically was in there to shill to people in the audience that I own a store and that you follow me on social media and we'll talk about carrying your crap.
Nice.
So it worked. I got a lot of follows from the people that were in the audience at that time. And let me tell you, there are some really cool things that are out there that I haven't been carrying in a while because of things. You know, as you're trying to move, you're not trying to add new product and gain new customers to read things. But in the case of like those Night Hunter books that I showed you, we're pretty much sold out of them, which is awesome. I got more of number one than I did the others.
Oh, but so other people like novelty too.
Sure thing. I would love to grow my clientele to come back to that type of thing because the reality of the situation is this. Marvel and DC and pretty much Boom and Image and everybody else are not doing long form stories for the most part. You got your Robert Kirkmans and you got some things that are already established and out there. But mostly you're getting like Post Americana by Steve Scroach is a 6-issue miniseries. It's awesome. One of my favorite things going on out there. Just like Erratic is one of my favorite things. But AWA, the company that puts that out. Oh, good. I'm glad you're back. AWA that puts that stuff out is only doing miniseries that pertain to the other miniseries, but they're all just miniseries. And Marvel, the only things that I'm really looking forward to are that Amazing Fantasy that I told you about. Beta Ray Billets coming out. Number 2 comes out tomorrow, everybody. And number 1 was awesome. It was everything I hoped it would be. And it's Daniel Warren Johnson doing the artwork. It's just beautiful. And then Fantastic Four Life Story is a mini series by Mark Russell about the Fantastic Four as if they would have actually aged as the decades went by.
Mm-hmm.
So what were the Fantastic Four doing in the 70s? Well, they're definitely older.
Staying younger.
I mean, what are they doing in the 80s? Well, maybe Reed's looking good because of the plastic.
Elysium. Wasn't that the movie where the rich people don't age anymore? Yeah.
I don't know. Fantinium will tell us for sure.
I think that's the genuine thing that's going to come and happen.
Oh, let's hope.
I'm not rich. I'm gonna
Oh,
die.
rich? Oh, damn.
Die. You know, it's not just insurance, man. Like having insurance is not enough to stay young forever, right? It's gonna take money, a whole lot of money.
Yeah, a whole lot of money, a whole lot of spending money.
Yeah. I'd like.
Well, see, it's not so much of cloning. It's all about how you're going to transfer this over there. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, you know, I feel like if they took all of my meat off of my spinal cord and my brain, like the bones and the muscles and the skin, left all the sensory organs besides the skin, obviously. Oh hell, leave the skin, leave the nerves, leave all of that stuff, but take all that stuff away. I feel like I'd still be me. Like I think I'd be in a lot of pain, but I'd be me. So I'd be like screaming a lot with no mouth, right? Ah! But I feel like they could probably just. You remember Ripley getting in that big machine and she's all fighting the alien with the big exosuit? Bam, bam, bam. Well, just put the brain and the spinal cord and all the nerves inside of one of those things, and it might live forever.
I want a body though.
Yeah, when they have developed that technology, then you buy in, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Living forever is step 1.
Living for yeah.
Uploading.
And then death will be out of a job, so watch out.
She might come back, yeah. Mm-hmm. I read this awesome book when I was young called Soulless by A.A. Atanasio, and the concept is that this guy like opted to live forever, but they didn't have the technology. But he signed up with this company, you know, it's like a startup or whatever, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll freeze your brain." So he wakes up at some point and he's given the opportunity, like he has become the spoils of war or whatever. Somebody claimed his brain as their own. He's like, "You have no rights. You can either." Have your brain chopped up into little pieces and like each little piece will go and run a piece of technology, or you can maintain your entire brain and you can be a miner. You can like operate this mine for us. And he's like, I choose mine. Because the mind is important. Right. Sure, and by the end of it, you know, he's looking for a body too. He's looking for a body. Get the out of there.
Yeah. Get out of there.
Yeah. Whatever. I think about these things when I dream.
All right, so we're almost at the end of the show. I am going to do a review of a book called Rub the Blood. If you are at all interested in some really wacky artwork, I recommend you stick around. But if you don't want to stick around, I totally understand that. So this one is actually up to you. But first,
is it R-rated?
It's what?
Is it rated like R or X or something? Like, are you telling people to bail because they're going to see some boobies?
No, I'm telling you because you aren't the biggest, like, you know. I love talking to you. All right, so here, check this out.
Okay.
That's right. It's almost the end of the show. But first, I am going to turn off my camera and I'm going to share my screen. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah, I think that looks fine. All right, share screen. And oh my God, what do you think of that, ATN?
Oh, that's pretty nice.
That is the cover of a comic book called Rub the Blood. If you can tell up in the smoke, you can see it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, this came out in 2011. Funny enough, when we opened.
Uh-huh.
And this is a bunch of independent illustrators getting together to put together an homage to 90s comics, most specifically to Rob Liefeld comics. even more specifically, Bloodstrike.
Okay.
Right. Bloodstrike was a second comic that came out after Youngblood as far as Extreme Studios. What's more extreme than what you're looking at right now?
It's pretty extreme.
God damn. Now that's
so
a
extreme.
gun I can be a handle,
I mean, it's a cell phone and a gun, and a lighter. I'm not sure. I think it's a lot of different. Yeah, it's definitely a lighter because the tip of the gun is flipped backwards, so he's lighting the fuse that's in his mouth. And notice that the aiming device is like what you blow bubbles with.
Oh, I like that. That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so and then he has that like crazy axe alien looking face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there's Bloodstrike number 1.
I owned that.
You did.
Oh yeah.
So you will remember that up here in the left-hand corner it says "Rub the Blood."
I didn't, but okay.
Well, that's where this whole title comes from, and that's Dan Fraga and Rob Liefeld inking Dan Fraga.
Uh-huh.
And he does the artwork inside. Now, independent illustrators doing a Rob Liefeld based, or maybe even like having a career that's somewhat formulated, partially because of their love of Rob Liefeld. There's Michel Fiffe, who does Copra. He obviously likes Frank Miller too. He has an era that he's into, a sweet spot of comics, and he's kind of bringing it back. He did Bloodstrike, Brutalist, which was a 0 issue. So Michel Fiffe did a 3-part miniseries of Bloodstrike. And since Bloodstrike never had a 0 issue, he gave them a 0 issue.
Yeah, so Image. It's such an Image thing to have.
Exactly. Now, Image also had this gimmick where they had a 25th issue. Well, so instead of like issue 12, which was coming out at the time, they said, oh, well, this month we'll have the 25th issue. Uh-huh. And this is what Bloodstrike will be like in the future. Well, Bloodstrike eventually got all the way to issue 22, and they have had a 25th issue, but they never had a 23 and 24. So Michel Fiffe did 23 and 24 also. So that was his 3-issue miniseries. That was the conceit of him coming in and doing Bloodstrike.
Okay, I approve.
Yeah. There's also the introduction of the Pouch, a Rob Liefeld character. If you notice his gun, now this is a kind of gun I would be 100% okay with. It's made of pouches and it shoots pouches.
Of course it does.
Of course. This is like some of the most amazing illustrations you've ever seen.
That's just hilarious. In fact, yeah.
Okay, so there's issue 24. Once again, I got a pouch
cover.
Yeah. That's right. Now, if anybody is interested in winning a prize, all you have to do is after this show, go in the comments down below and let me know what cover this is based off of. And this is an in-store only prize, and I will show you what it's going to be. You know what? I'll mail also, but I got only mail in America unless you really want it back, and then you got to pay shipping. So think about that. That's what we'll do. Yeah, I'll ship in 48 America, and anybody else has to pay for shipping. But I'm going to give it away for free if you tell me in the comments after the show what cover this is.
Wait, you're giving away this issue?
No, I will show you what it is afterwards.
Then yeah, by all means,
That's a variant cover by Fiffe. That's very 90s looking.
This is what you're giving away?
No, it's later.
Oh, okay.
Later. This is a tease.
Okay. I'm just, curious about what you're actually giving away. So
I've got an art
effort
book. I've got an art book, and it's very good.
Okay.
But the cover
probably
that you have to guess where this comes from is this one, Bloodstrike 24. Okay. And then there's the 25th issue. Okay. Obviously, we have Rob Liefeld's Youngblood is a major, major factor when considering anything extreme.
Oh, yeah.
And this is obviously one of the most extreme. Look at how extreme it is. Shaft doesn't have any bow. No string, I mean. He doesn't have any string on his bow.
He doesn't need any.
He doesn't need any. How's he going to shoot those 2 arrows?
Magic, dude. Come on.
Dude, exactly.
You said you like fantasy.
You remember Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon? The
Only
Ranger,
vaguely.
that Ranger had a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
That was like light, it would produce like a light manifestation of an arrow.
Yeah.
There's just to let you know, this is a Youngblood 0 issue. So like I said, everybody had a 0 issue. So each page, or maybe for a couple of pages, this will be a different illustrator just doing something that's memorable and definitely very extreme. So here you have the very first page.
Yeah.
And that's Supreme. That's what Supreme used to look like.
Jeez, I had that too.
Yeah, you had Supreme. Look at this.
I bought comics in a real bad time.
I would read Supreme looking like this 100% of the time. That's all I can say. You know what? This is pretty cool too.
It's okay.
In fact, when I wanted to break into comics, there was a storyline in Supreme where he fought Thor. This is not good Sean McManus artwork, but his good stuff is in Sandman, Game of You, or Omega Men. Anyway, he fights Thor and actually takes his freaking hammer and lays him out. So our story, this is me and my buddy Chris. We were going to do a story where we were going to incorporate Glory, Supreme, and Bloodwolf and Thor. So Thor was going to go to Bloodwolf, who was like this ripoff of Lobo.
Yeah.
And he was going to hire him to go steal his hammer back from Supreme so that Thor could have his Cab Mjolnir back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we need some boobs and butt. And we're like, oh, well, let's add Glory. And then we had this big mecha robot and all sorts of stuff. And we pitched that with a little script. Anyway, it didn't go anywhere, obviously.
And so you left it at that?
And that's what happened.
Okay.
Again, this is all black and white. Look at that, though. That's crazy.
That's going to take a little while.
Yeah, that's it's just like something being eviscerated. Actually, if you oh damn, I didn't do it. Let me do a close up. It says right here, editor's note.
Oh, that's
self-inflicted. Oh god, I can't read it. Anyway,
repeating something or other. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a better copy, but I didn't.
Do you see that revolver in that dude's hand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's obviously a penis that has been mostly severed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
This is so this is like a big old demon thing. It kind of reminds me of I don't know. This feels more like Faust.
Yes. Sure. Tim Vigil.
Yeah, definitely. There will be another thing I think that reminds me of it even more so. But I mean, it's extreme. It's definitely very 90s, but
it is. Yeah,
it's not. I don't know if it's extreme. Oh, I also kind of likened it to Bloodwolf because of this character here.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's a page of what Bloodwolf looks like.
Did Bloodwolf also get his yang knocked off?
It could have happened. I have no idea.
Jeez, I mean, that was an image.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's a Prophet story. And this is definitely done by, well, I shouldn't say. They're really bad with their credits, but Ben Mara, he's done some a lot of like not run of the mill stuff for most comic stores. Let's just say that. You have to be in a big city for most of it, like New York and Chicago and LA and stuff like that. This is Prophet. back in the day. And then here's a kind of like an amalgamation of different, or like a combination of Rob Liefeld characters. Like we have a Cable one,
Yeah.
and then all these other extreme characters. Here's your Blood Wolf right here.
So many guns.
I forget. Oh man, geez, it was Gun Central. You
Yeah, it
know,
was.
I still have it's when it's in this style, it's more nostalgia. It's so over the top, so unrealistic. Like nobody shoots guns like this Blood Wolf one. You know what I mean? Or Forearm.
Well,
You know, and not really, not Cable here. You know, but this is all just like ridiculous and like super testosterone and definitely of
don't
its
you remember
time.
Arnold Schwarzenegger carrying around a gun just like that in movies?
Sure thing, sure thing.
I mean, it totally makes sense that this would happen in comic books.
The thing is like I'm totally willing to go and watch an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie like this. Like I love Running Man, you know, I love Predator.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a few others that I'm really a fan of, but you know, if it's like even Keanu Reeves now, I probably won't be watching Berserker when it happens.
Right.
Yeah, I already read the comic, you know.
Sure.
But who knows? Maybe I will. There are some pages where I think they just don't get it. This might be one of them. In some ways, they do. Like as far as a representation of women in the 90s, it feels pretty on. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was super gratuitous. Everything was super gratuitous. Everything was like in your face and over the top and like super superposed. And I don't know if this feels like an homage as much as a
reminder,
or a you know, it's damnation is what this is. But you know, we sell our souls for entertainment. All right, here we go. This one's really cool. This is by Ian Harker, William S. Burrow, whatever. So this character here in Youngblood #1. So Youngblood #1 was a flip book. There you go. And there's a story where this character here blows up the brain of a Saddam Hussein archetype. Okay.
Yeah.
I forget what his name was. Here, in fact, this is what it looks like.
It's printed on that page.
Wait, I don't think it was.
His name was Hassan Hussein.
Oh, where was that? It's up here. Jesus Christ. I can't read that.
It's in the rumpus room.
I see that. Yeah, very good. Hassan Hussein. So here he is, Rob Liefeld style, getting destroyed. This is pretty powerful, you got to admit. When I was trying to break in and my boss, Craig Storman, he was like, less words, dude. I want it to be like action packed. I would always take I would look at a Rob Liefeld page all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can't lay this out in 4 panels, that's bad. Because regardless if this is good, this is gripping and people remember it. And depending on what you're trying to do, this is like really good actually. And people are crazy. But this is how that was back then, man. Show, don't tell. It's extreme, yeah, exactly. We'll get to the thing is like at the end, there's a really poignant 3-page story about what this all is and how it affects people in the industry. Anyway, so this is what happens at the end. But there's one more page to rub the bloods, and here he is being
bring me son of George Bush. Balls of aborted fetuses, broken condoms, bloody Kotex, shit wrapped in bright colored comics.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Go and never darken my rumpus room again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right. So that's that. Then there's this really cool page, 2-pager. Very violent, obviously very cable. And in the bottom here, it's all the things that are in the pouches
Oh yeah.
of these characters or
Sure.
cable. Here's an ex-girlfriend's vibrator. A giant fucking oh my god, a gigapet.
Uh-huh.
A copy of Will Smith's Parents Just Don't Understand on cassette.
Wow.
Yeah, a 20-sided die. Wow, that was in 2011. That wasn't cool yet.
Yeah, sure it was.
An eighth of weed. A laser pen. Nobody does laser pens anymore. Remember laser pens?
Only vaguely, but yeah.
Only to fuck around with cats, right?
A harmonica. Get out of here.
No. Well, not all of it's great. All right, here's a Deadpool.
I do
chopping
remember
up fools.
Sure.
But again, it's Rob Liefeld based, but I don't know. It's just a silly picture.
Yeah.
Kind of sort. So is this
Kill Crew?
That's
Kill Crew. Okay.
Or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. It's all right. Anyway, that's a lot of the comic is that. I didn't show every page, but again, this kind of feels like Faust over here and all the
Dude,
super
extreme.
uber violence.
That looks like Gru,
But
actually.
It Gru
Bottom
chops
right-hand
the fools up like crazy, of course.
Doesn't that strike you as Gru-ish?
Sure it does. Yeah, so maybe a mixed match here. But I mean, maybe the heart's in the right place. This one, I don't know. I think this is just a friend filling in a page. It's cool art, but for the subject matter, I don't think I have anything I could compare this to.
Charles Burns-ish.
Yeah, kind of. But again, I would love to see what Charles Burns would do to do a riff on Liefeld, but that might be cool. Here's just a silly Cable and Strife and X-Force characters. All right, here we go. This is the big one. All right, so this is by Josh Baer. Josh Baer has done what he's done is like instead of Conan, he did like Conan, and he did a whole issue in his art style, which is very messy, like what we're looking at here, but a Conan comic book. And let me tell you, he rips the shit out of people. I mean, holy cow. And let me tell you, I've been reading Conan comic book and novel or short stories or novellas.
Yeah.
And wow, there is some amazing scenes. And I just can't wait to really get into it with you about that. But this is about Herb Trimpe. And he is the artist of Hulk, or at least he was, and how he's kind of old, and there's young guys, and they don't know the real, way to draw, and he just totally is upset with them. He's like, I drew the Hulk. When you see that picture on that thing of the Hulk, that's me that did that. Today, right now. I did that then, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, here's Herb Trimpe. And I got to admit, I'm not really the biggest fan of him, but he had some really fantastic covers. And he told a fairly okay Hulk story. And you know what? He created Wolverine. So that's a thing. And he had some really important issues of Hulk. And he did Transformers and all sorts of stuff that a lot of people through the years knew. But here he is in the 90s, and he's kind of losing his way. And he's kind of hulking out. But all these extreme characters are killing him and eating him and fighting him and destroying him. But what they don't know is that the real Herb Trimpe is hidden deep inside the body. And when they're done, he'll still be around. And then at the end, he's like, I'm going to still stick around. I got kids and family, kids and wife, and I'm gonna stick it out and do it. And then you see this kid go into a store, and he's like, "Are you gonna buy that or what?" He's all, "None of them are worth buying." And he's all, "What's this one?" He's all, "It says here it's drawn by Herb Trimpe." And let me tell you, this Fantastic Four Unlimited that's being drawn right here. Let me get a close up. Okay. Like I was going to get you the normal cover, but you don't need to know the normal cover. But look at freaking Sue Storm with her legs spread like this.
Yeah.
Look at the torch, like he's just squeezing one out. What you don't see is all the freaking lines in their faces because Trimpy went to town like he was Rob's like buddy. I was going to say another word in front of buddy. This is the saddest comic ever made, and that is a true freaking statement. There's a lot of love in this comic book. There's a lot of love in this one story for a lot of different reasons and things, but this was the end result. And it kind of always is. We are going to see our the things we love pass.
Someone's going to poop on your childhood.
Yeah, someone's going to poop on it. It is going to recreate it in the image of the day, and you're going to be offended, and all you're going to have are back issues. And guess what I'm selling?
Oh, conveniently, they're on sale right now, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? Let me do this really quick. That is a great time for me to interest you or to play this video for you.
Hey everybody, this is Yule over at Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. Coming at you to let you know that we have an online store, and if you type fantastic-comics.myshopify.com, you will be directed to our online store where you can see back issues galore. Right now we only have 3 pages up, but we're adding stuff all the time. You can see these Silver Age comics like Captain America, Strange Tales, Batman. There's gonna be a lot more. Let me tell you, there is gonna be a lot more. Way more than the 3 pages you're looking at right now, but gosh, these books are great. And if you didn't know, you can check out what they look like if you scroll over the book. You can search by title, you can search by price, you can search by age of the comic. So if you want to come on into our online store and support Fantastic Comics, maybe you haven't been here in a while, we've got all sorts of stuff you haven't seen. Come on in.
Yeah, come on in.
That looks good. That looks real good.
Yeah, we're working on it. We got a lot of stuff going up. I got Conan the Barbarian. All right. I got Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, I went back to this last page and I'm like, I don't get it.
I don't remember it. It's poor Herb Trimpe.
Poor Herb.
It was sad, you know. He was very, having to ape that style. Ugh. They even went and had a really cool letters page where they obviously, you can see the stains from Time newsprint.
Yep.
They even did like a countdown list.
I see weed.
Yeah. So this is Box Brown. He's the guy that's doing the letters page here, and this is really cool. Talking about the top 10 comics of the early '90s. This is funny. It's Jeff Matsuda's hot run on New Men, and he never liked Todd Knock. And Todd Knock like totally works in the industry. I think Jeff Matsuda, like so many other people, have gone on to do other things, like in movies and TV and stuff like that. If you can storyboard, you got a real career.
Yeah, for sure. In the film industry anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So all of Chappie Ape stuff. Chappie Ape, woof. He's definitely got a style. Merritt Michaels on Brigade Ike. Aaron Weisenfeld on Team 7. Okay, and I'm only going to say that and one other thing. Aaron Weisenfeld is a real fine artist now. But his Team 7 shit with Chuck Dixon was 2 of the best like miniseries I've read, and they are totally gun themed, and it's amazing. It's like a military team, and I'm not normally into that kind of stuff, but like wow, it is so well drawn, and the story is really good too. And also down here, Tommy Lee Edwards on Gemini Blood. That was a Helix title. Helix was what Transmetropolitan started with. And here's from that Bloodstrike issue. You can see like always it was questions about what's going to happen in future issues. Is Die Hard an African American? Oh damn, I don't have the answer. Shucks.
I see a 2 down there.
Yeah,
Says yup.
we don't need to see that.
We could just plug that in and assume.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure thing.
So yeah, that's my review of
Is this part done?
Yeah, this part's done.
This podcast. I love you. I love you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so let me just do a couple more plugs. Do you want to plug anything, dude? You want to plug your
holes in my bank account?
I got one other thing. All right, so let me make me big. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out what that cover was with the pouches and the pouch being crucified, what that was an homage to, you can win this Spread the Cheeks art book by Sean Cheeks Galloway. He's done mostly like DC stuff if you've seen his mainstream, but he's pretty freaking awesome. Look at that. And you see like the process artwork to go along with it. But he's got this really cool cartoony vibe, but it's like stuff you want to look at, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this was donated to the store. And if you're a fan of artwork, so that'd be like Evil Lynn and I can't remember. Sorry, guys. I got my He-Man cred revoked. I never cared. And yeah, so there you go. That looks like what? Probably Thundercats. Yeah, Thundercats.
That's the logo.
Yeah. So that's what Panthro?
No idea. Didn't watch it.
Panthro. You know what the problem with the Thundercats was? It had a superlative opening where they were like Thundercats.
Yeah.
And the animation was so super beautiful. And
then the cartoon started.
The cartoon sucks, and it was Snarf also. All right, so fantastic. Where am I finding these images? Depending on which ones you're talking about. The ones from Rub the Blood.
Yeah, you were going through a lot of them.
Yeah. So mostly Rub the Blood was right here in this one book.
You scanned it?
I took phone photographs and then I edited them in and stuff. And let me read some of the names of this off also. Box Brown, Jim Rugg, Benjamin Mara, Heather Benjamin, Pat Alazio. He's one of the guys from Secret Prison, I think, who's one of the companies involved in this. Josh Baer. In fact, someone said something about Josh Baer. Josh Baer did some of the all-time comic stuff from Fantagraphics. Sure thing. In fact, I think there's some Herb Trimpe artwork that they used in that also. And that has Noah Van Sciver, who I don't know if anybody didn't see that when I just accidentally flashed it. But I was a guest on his show the other day. I'm joking about being a guest. He had an open link, and anytime someone does that, you gotta like, do I really want to? I'm gonna be introducing myself to all who I'm gonna do it, and that's why. Besides, I wanted to let him know that I wanted to be like, oh, I like your stuff, So I did. I like your stuff. You did good stuff,
Yeah,
you do the stuff that makes me feel better about myself because you're such a piece of shit,
Oh wow.
No, not really. It's like sort of autobiographical a lot of times. Not everything that he does. Sometimes he does like the death of Elijah. Jesus, I can't remember the name. And like he did like a Johnny Appleseed story and things like that. So biographies. But his stuff is usually about him being an artist and wallowing. That's what it's all about. It's about wallowing as an artist. Yeah. Let me say hello to Corey. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
I don't know. I wasn't looking good earlier today, so I just
You didn't check.
Let's not worry. I don't want to divert. We had a very important rub the blood, issue, or episode, and a lot of those in the know artists were doing all the comics. Yes, exactly. All time comics. I hope to have the new versions of those people from today, because the thing is they graduate on and either do something that's mainstream if they can, or you don't see them forever because they're doing something again for TV or movies or I don't know, the New Yorker or something like that. Advertising agencies for sure. Yeah, it's you got to pay the bills, and if you don't have the skills, then you have to do something else. And a lot of artists that I loved for half a minute, you turn around, where they go, and
Altoids ads. That's my
Charles Burns. Yeah,
I mean, Charles Burns.
At least those Altoids ads were very Charles Burns-esque.
And the Believer magazine covers, he did those for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. And interiors too.
His stuff's just so nice, so pretty. I love it.
And there's always Black Hole.
Yeah, thank goodness, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of his other stuff is not available. Like El Borba, I don't believe is available.
You mean right here?
Well, when you're ready to put that up on Paperback Goldmine.
Do you remember when his stuff got all reprinted in like kind of big editions?
Mm-hmm.
The red spine with nothing on it? Yeah, I have 3 of those. I think there were supposed to be 6, but I don't think 6 came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were only 4, and one of them was quite a bit later or something. I don't know. I stopped paying attention at some point because it was so long. It's kind of like waiting for George Martin. You lose interest, you know.
You do. It's restarting series, not coming out. These are the 2 things that ultimately hurt your longevity in the long run. You know, or I shouldn't. That's obviously the same thing. Yeah. What I mean is, so you see a bump in. So if your sales in comic books starts at 100 and drops to 50, and drops to 40 and drops to 30, and then plateaus, right? Plateaus at 30. So you stop it and you start it, and you started at 100, the first number one. The next number one might go 100 or maybe 90. And then depending on how many alternate covers there are, it might, that kind of thing. But ultimately, when you start seeing it go down, it goes down lower, faster. And then it doesn't even plateau at 30 anymore. It plateaus at 25.
It's like our podcast on YouTube.
Oh, every time we start a new book, it's difficult. It's hard for people. I just want to read Malazan with people.
Well, that's tough poopy.
Well, and that's like this. It's hard to get a grasp on this show.
I mean, yes. I wonder, I remember listening to, oh God, I can't even remember his name right now. Answers with Joe, I think. And he was doing a celebratory episode. And he said it took 5 years for him to get anywhere. So I don't know that it is whatever. Takes time.
It does.
If your stuff is losing popularity as you go, I think that's probably a bad sign.
Right. Well, ATN, thank you for being with me today. I'm really glad to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. We should talk. It can't be tonight, but we should talk soon.
Okay, very good. Yeah, anytime. I'm ready to go. I'm sick of reading these comic books, except for the ones for the show. So I'm going to read the Latinx Hispanic fantasy one.
I'm not sure what that means is all. It's nothing personal. I just don't get it. So I'm going to go look that up now.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. Tell a friend, share this video, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment in the comments down below after the show is over. If you know what that cover of number 24, I do believe, of Bloodstrike was, the Rob Liefeld pouch variant, you can win the Sean Cheeks Galloway Spread the Cheeks art book. I will send it to you free of charge as long as you're in the, what is it?
The lower 48.
The lower
contiguous
48.
48.
Otherwise, if you're somewhere else, you gotta
Pay
do the
for
shipping.
You can pay for the shipping. It's not
Free
that much.
book, man. This is awesome. Really, really good artwork. And we'll see you next week. Tell a friend. Bye.
See you, bud.